The Chargers just got really bad news that they were expecting. Now, we had our breaking news short out right away. I dove into some more information on what's happening with Tyler Biadasz, as well as some more information on what was going on today at Chargers practice. So grab yourself some popcorn, sit down, and enjoy. Chargers Now is presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Will Ortner. We need Jake Slaughter to step up in Los Angeles. The rookie just got very, 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 very important at his job. And that is certainly going to be something that we are diving into fully. Sounds like the offense didn't have the best weekend of all time, but there is some positive injury news. Looking at you, Rashawn Slater, back out on the field for the team. We're going to break down what that means, and then also just how good this Chargers defense can and will be. They've been generating a lot of pressure. They ended up being a large reason why the offense struggled, and I do think that there is a silver lining there for this team. We're on the road to 6K subs. I thought we were going to do it on Thursday. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do that yet. So if you've not subscribed to the channel, help us out and do so now. We just need 19 people. What are you going to get if you subscribe? Well, you're going to get free news, rumors, updates, and all kinds of other things on the Los Angeles Chargers. So hit that subscribe button, help us out, and you're going to love the return you get. All right, so ESPN's Chris Rim kind of broke this news down. We were expecting it, I believe, but Tyler Biadasz, his season is done. He's going to go on injured reserve. Joint practice on Thursday obviously led to an injury. He had to get carted off. Now, the original hope was, hey, maybe he'll be able to come back at the back end of the year. Looks like that's not going to be a possibility. Bunch of, I don't want to speculate, but it does sound like there's some knee issues that happened to him when he ended up having his injury. So that means we have a new reworked Chargers offensive line depth chart. What does that look like for this team? And how much emphasis do you put on Jake Slaughter? How much hope, trust, belief do you have on a rookie in the National Football League running what I would make the argument is the second most important position on the offensive line? That doesn't mean that he can't do it, right? I'm not here to come in and say Jake Slaughter can't get the job done, but that left guard position battle, it just got a heck of a lot different, right? Now that Slaughter is going to be slotted into that starting center spot, he's not going to be battling it out with Coyote Oshika, obviously dealing with Taylor over there. Trey Pipkins actually jumped back in and was doing some stuff for this team at left guard as well. But let's focus in on Slaughter, right? What was he like as a center at the University of Florida? Well, he was pretty darn good. At the top end of a lot of his PFF grades, didn't really give up a lot of sacks, had some issues with some penalties. I am going to admit to that, though. What I will say here about Jake Slaughter, and I think this is important for a lot of Chargers fans to really look at, remember, and kind of keep locked away in the back end of what they have, is he was drafted to at some point come in and become that starting center. Now, the hope was that Tyler Biadasz would hold that position down for a year, 2, maybe even 3, and then Slaughter would be able to grow into that role slowly but surely. It's easier to be a starting left guard, starting right guard, than it is to be a starting center when you are a rookie. There's just a little bit less on your plate. Now, does that mean that Slaughter can't do this? No, absolutely not, but he's got to grow, and he's got to grow really quickly as a player. He's got to be someone that can earn the trust and the love from some of the guys around him, but also it means that Mike McDaniel and Justin Herbert, they're going to have to find a way to take some of this off his plate. You trust him, feels like he's looked good in game action, feels like he's gotten better as more and more camp stuff has gone on, but I'm not going to sit here and say that there isn't work to be done. Will Slaughter have a good year in Los Angeles? Let us know down below in the comment section, yes or no. Of course, I am very interested in hearing what your personal opinion here is. I think for me personally, this is a yes. I very much trust Jake Slaughter. I think he's going to be able to get the job done. You're going to have to take things off his plate that were on Tyler Biadasz's plate, right? There are certain things that he was able to do that Slaughter's just not there yet, but I am interested to see how it goes. We have more to discuss on the program today, but first, I need to let you know that it is made possible by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 sports picks app and is the best place to win cash while watching sports. With the football season right around the corner, there's no better time to cash in with our friends at PrizePicks. And I'll tell you this, the app is really easy to use. For player picks, just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. That's it. PrizePicks is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. One thing I love is the new social feeds feature where you can share PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. You can actually follow me on the app at BigWill7774 to see all of my lineups. I have a lineup for the football action going on later on this year. Justin Herbert, more on his pass yards. Quentin Johnston, more on his receiving TDs. Rashid Shaheed, more on his receiving yards. New user offer. Best of all, play your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. Just use code HMA when you sign up. That's right. PrizePicks just switched up their offer, so there's no better time to join. Lock in and win that first lineup. That's code HMA at sign up to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win your first $5 plus lineup. The Chargers offense, much like on Thursday night, they've had some struggles as of late, going through a lot of different things in this camp. And in this training camp, it certainly feels like the offense maybe has taken a slight step back. Now, is that the end of the world? Is this something that happens to most teams? Yeah, at certain points, you're going to have good days. At certain points, you're going to have bad days. But to have, a bad game and then have multiple bad days or days where maybe it didn't look quite the way you wanted it to, that's not great. When we look at the woes for the offense, a lot of sacks were getting to Justin Herbert. A lot of guys were getting in the backfield, making him feel uncomfortable. That, of course, led to turnovers from him, but also to turnovers from other guys on this team. And it wasn't like, oh, it's one, hey, defensive player made an incredible play to go get an interception. It was, defensive player was lurking in the zone and this wasn't seen. Or, hey, this play got made. Guy didn't hold on to the football tight enough. Those are the things that are a bit frustrating. And it leads to an offense that ends up being, stuck in the mud. You're not able to really move the football all that much. Plus, you have a bunch of people that now, a guy like Justin Herbert, he might be trying to get the ball out a little bit quicker so he doesn't get hit. That could lead to either less gains of the football, or it could lead to, honestly, him holding on, throwing the football, and as soon as he throws it, he's getting absolutely smacked. Now, we know that this isn't probably not going to be a long-term issue. You have to remember that the defense, at this point, has seen everything that the offense has to throw at them. We know that Mike McDaniel is an innovative mind. He is someone that's going to be able to get to the bottom of what he wants to do. He might also still be implementing a lot of what his offense is, right? He hasn't thrown in a couple of the tricks of the trade, some unpredictability. He has been someone that right now is still trying to get this offense figured out in the way that you need it to be figured out. But to me, that is a good sign. You don't want your offense just to come in and look like they're the greatest thing since sliced bread all the time, because then that, one, probably means that your defense is not in the position that it needs to be, but two, it also could get you into this lulled sense of satisfaction of we're the best, we're never ever going to lose. And then, watch out, because your opponents, they're doing all the things that they need to do to make sure that they can shut you down. So the offense has to get it figured out, but I'm certainly not hitting the panic button. Now, there are some positive injury news for the offensive side of the football. Brenen Thompson was back out, kind of moving around on the field. My understanding is he did have a different colored jersey on, a.k.a. the non-contact jersey. So that is going to be something interesting to pay attention to. But Rashawn Slater, he was back out at practice, and he was given it a full go today. So that is something that is positive for this team. So you do have a bad news injury thing, but you have a really good news injury thing, and then you also probably have a medium injury news thing. Which Chargers player has to have a good game on Thursday? I'm more specifically looking at guys who either want to move up in their position battle or a guy who has to do well if they want to make this team. I'm interested in hearing what you have to say, so make sure that you go and say it loud and proud in our comment section. Last, let's end with some of the pressure, and I want to make sure that I really highlight Tuli, highlight Khalil Mack, who also had an interception, highlight Bud Dupree, Dame Tucker, Akeem Mesidor. Those guys were playing really stinking well. They were getting into the backfield. They were making havoc. They were making big plays for this Chargers defense, and it's very clear to me that Chris O'Leary has a really good game plan on how he wants to get more pressure drawn up, dialed up, and sent after opposing teams. Now, Jesse Minter was someone who obviously really utilized zone coverages, and he trusted that his team was going to get aka coverage sacks, right? That might not be exactly what Chris O'Leary is going to do, but it's very clear that he knows how to dial up a good defense that's not afraid to get after opposing offenses. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to get into some cut candidates probably tomorrow, which will be fun as we're getting really close to that final cut down day. Actually, it is a week away. So, like I said, make sure you're subscribed. Don't want to miss any of the news and notes on your favorite team in the National Football League. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. Can't wait to see you next time. And as always, bolt the freak up.